in them with things, and we define them. We use them in specific ways. It
Okay.
doesn't in any
But
way.
what if I say
doesn't,
belongadonk? Does that mean anything to you?
John, it doesn't in any way demonstrate that the thing we're talking about is real. And that's what the unicorn demonstration was for, or I could have picked Kermabelfluffen. And if I tell you that a Kermabelfluffen is a particular type of alien that doesn't map to anything physical here, you have the concept in your brain. And once everybody else knows what it is, whether it's a fairy or a leprechaun or a Kermabelfluffen, the meme exists, but the item does not. Do not confuse the map for the place.
Correct. And I agree that for that same reason, the, what's it called, ontological argument for God is not valid.
Okay.
However,
I agree on that.
Back to the, well, for one thing, I believe the fact that we have this spirit allows us to be wrong about the spirit.
Stop.
So your alien non-material thing we can be wrong about because we still have the non-material idea.
John, you don't get to say the fact that we have this spirit. You have to actually demonstrate that before I'm going to let you call it a fact.
Well, I meant the fact that we have the word and the meaning.
The fact that we have the word does what?
It's along with the alien thing that you said, like the fact that we can, okay, not the fact, but I mean, it is a fact for some of us that we understand the meaning for that word. And I think that with your alien example, like if you can associate that with something that's not physical, I would conjecture that that's because we have this soul that lets us think about things that are non-material.
You're only just defining the soul as non-physical. I'm saying that every attribute that people give to a soul, we can identify physically, except for the part that we can't test at all, which is the idea that it continues after we're dead. You talk about the soul being. You talk about this,
John. Free will derives.
John, you talk about the soul being responsible for thought, reasoning, free will, consciousness. Right. Those are all things that we can identify as brain states. You have no reason.
You claim to make that, but we can't. You can see activity in the brain, but that's not what consciousness is. That's just coming up with the memory stored and the way we move our arm and everything going on at the same time.
John, do you know anything about cognitive neuroscience?
A little bit.
Well, then
Google.
How can you make these statements that these brain states don't map to specific like intent or emotions or what?
Because I'm aware of the progress of the research in that field.
No, I don't think you are.
I know enough about it to say that.
I can guarantee you you're not. For example, something we've talked about a number of times, one of the most brilliant people on the planet in this area, V.S. Ramachandran, had done studies in split brain patients where you can question both brains and they have distinct personalities. And in one case, one half of the brain was a theist, and in another case, the other half of the brain was an atheist. Now, when they split that patient's brain, did they get it two souls?
Wait, can you say that again?
A split brain patient where the corpus callosum's been split divides the brain, and each half of our brain controls a different part of the body. And I'll get the hemispheres confused, but let's say for the sake of the argument that it's the left hemisphere that controls speech and the right hemisphere controls the left side of the body. In any case, whether I got that backwards or not, in a patient like that, they were able to actually ask it questions because you're going to hear out of both ears. And they would have the one half of the brain would be able to answer with the mouth, and the other half of the brain would be able to answer by taking the right hand and pointing to answers. And in this case, one half of the brain was a theist. When asked if they believed in God, it said yes, and the other half of the brain said no. Now, did that human being who had its brain split get two souls, and how did that happen?
The soul tapped into the brain in the one side and not the other.
Okay.
And you base this on what?
I can only say that that's possible. I can't say it's necessarily true, but you can't disprove it either.
So what you're saying...
aside from the main point that I'm trying to make.
John, stop. First of all, saying you can't disprove it is not an argument in favor of you. But second of all, what you did just do implicitly is state that this person has half a brain that does all of the things that you attribute to the other half of the brain, and it does it without a soul. We're done. The rest is just posturing. Sorry. Michael in Memphis, how you doing?
Hey, doing good. Thanks for taking my call. Appreciate it.
Sure, thanks for waiting. We got like 10 minutes left. I'm going to try and get through these.
I'm looking at the clock going, damn. But, hey, I just want your comment here real quick. I was born and raised a Christian evangelical. My parents were ministers, and I'm 40 years old. Finally, at 30, my brain started kicking in, and I've been an atheist ever since.
You and me both, bro.
Yeah, I know. And so I find myself intrigued. I'm always watching Christian shows and listening to Christian radio, like talk radio, because I'm always intrigued about what Christian...
Yeah.
What's that?
Because you're a masochist.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, I keep interrupting. We're short on time. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'll get right to my question. So last night I was watching Benny Hinn, and I haven't seen him in a long time, and I was disgusted and mortified and yet intrigued by this guy, and about how my wife and I was saying, wow, my wife was telling me, man, he's got these people in a trance. I mean, he would touch these people and they would fall down, and he would pick people up on the stage and they would fall down. And one time he did something and like 300 people in the front rows all fell down at the same time, and I just kind of
waves his coat.
Yeah.
He waves his coat and they fall over.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. But these people buy into it so much that I don't know if they are anticipating falling down, so they're just waiting for the signal or what.
Yeah, there's an ancient book, which I had to go actually look up because I always invert this. It's a two-part title, and I always get part of it wrong. Charles Mackay's Extraordinary Popular Delusions and the Madness of Crowds. This is, I think it was originally a 19th century work, but or maybe early 20th, I'm not sure, that looks at a phenomenon just like this. I agree with you. I'd like to sit here and say, I don't know why it's going on. Why are these people, why are they so gullible? Are they stupid or whatever? It's not the case that they're stupid. And
Right.
While I think gullible may be viable, what it is we find that people do things in crowds that they wouldn't normally do. And they also do things under the, as we found out during the under the guise of authority that they wouldn't normally do. The shock experiments that I always forget too. I can't remember everything.
Well, I just
talking about
Maybe that's what happens when you don't have a soul. Your brain can't remember everything.
You're talking about Stanley Milgram's experiments
Yes.
and also the Stanford prison experiments that people do things.
So yeah, I don't know why any better than you do, Michael.
Oh, that's all good. Hey, I know you got another call coming up here, and I'll let you go, but thanks for your input, and love your guys' show.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
See you later. Bye.
We've got Kelly in Austin.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
no problem.
We're really short on time.
Okay, so I just want a quick answer, I guess. Many people have the belief that an afterlife and God go together. I think that even if there is an afterlife, that doesn't necessarily mean there's a God.
I agree.
I agree.
You agree with that?
Yep.
Okay, so I think, in other words, the continuity of something beyond physical form doesn't mean that there's necessarily a God.
Correct.
Okay, great. I just wanted to get confirm your ideas about that.
Well, awesome. You get the call of the day thing because that was quick and easy. And you're in Austin, which we love people calling from Austin.
Yes.
Hey, we're actually coming to the dinner.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll see you then.
Awesome.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Everything's awesome.
It is.
There's only a couple minutes left. David, I'll try to get to you before we get out of here. As a reminder, we do go to dinner after the show at Threadgill's at 301 West Riverside Drive after the show's over. Also, if you didn't get through, you can email tv@atheist-community.org, and that gets to us. And please be sure and visit the website, atheist-community.org, to find more information about the group, including a calendar of events and information about the voter's guide will be up shortly. All right, David in Austin, you get to be the last call.
Hey, guys, real quick. I just needed Jen to requote the study about when children begin to believe in an afterlife. I missed that.
Oh, yeah, actually, I don't have that in front of me, and so I don't know the exact...
Is it older children do believe and younger don't? Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's basically what it is that older children are significantly more likely to believe that their consciousness survives their physical death than much younger children.
Younger don't. Okay, and real quick, and I'll get off here. Matt, I got to call you out on something. I'm a fan of the show, but I think believing in the guy explaining to you about the self-creating universe while not understanding him is an act of faith.
No, I'm not saying that I believe that it's true. I'm saying that I believe this is the best explanation offered by science at the moment. I can't be convinced of something that I don't understand.
Well, are you not convinced of it and you don't understand it, right?
I don't understand it, so I am not convinced that it's actually true. I am convinced.
The way you explained it earlier, it did sound a little bit like either faith or, appeal to authority.
Sure. Well, the thing is, faith is believing in something without good reason and evidence. Now, if I understood it reasonably well, it's not a fallacious appeal to authority because these are actual authorities in the issue.
Yeah.
The appeal to authority is only a fallacy if, you know, you're talking about 9 out of 10 doctors prefer vanilla ice cream.
Right, but I mean, wouldn't someone else say the people they believe are the authorities as well?
The thing is, it's not the people, it's the science. The science is the authority. The people that we're talking about, for like example, like Hawking, these are the representatives of the evidence. The evidence is there for everybody to review. It's part of the peer review process. It's for everybody to critique. And if I have 20, renowned physicists who are coming forward and saying, we've all reviewed this evidence, and I'm sorry that you can't understand it, but this is what the evidence says, I have good reason to believe that they are probably correct. It's not an exercise of faith in the sense that I don't have a reason. That's not quite where we're at with this thing, though.
I mean, I'm sure a Catholic would say, the Pope's an authority and 20 cardinals back.
Sure, and the second he actually demonstrates that he's an authority by providing some evidence and putting it up in a peer-reviewed process so that other people can do it too, I'll buy that too. Right now, there's not a single clergy person on the planet that's demonstrated that they're an authority on anything or that they're particularly useful for anything. Most of them seem to just be leeches on society.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Sure, thanks a lot.
Yes.
We're completely, almost, maybe, possibly out of time.
Yeah.
There's like 1 minute left in the show, and I did the announcements earlier. There's, we got Pat in Pasadena. If you can do it in 30 seconds, we can do this.
Okay.
Go.
I was just saying that most people that subscribe to traditional Christianity have totally misunderstood the scriptures. Those are allegories. They were never meant to be taken literal, as many have, and they have different messages and meanings for us to live by as human beings. The different characters are us, people, and it shows you the ones that are living on the negative side and the positive side, and we all know right from wrong, and we all have to up our conscience to realize that there's nobody dying, nobody's coming to get anybody to save anything. There's no human being calling himself God. It's all energy.
I got you, and I had to put you on hold. We are out of time.
Yeah.
And why do the good theists always call me with 10 seconds left in the show? Thanks, everybody. I won't be here next week. I'll be going to go pick up Beth and bring her to Texas, which we're all happy about. And we'll see you in a couple weeks for the back cruise. Bye-bye.
Yeah.